So I think one of the areas that and this maybe not is not as applicable on the adjuster side, but is tied to the claims experience, really like the whole policyholder experience. One of the things that I think is really interesting is the idea of using artificial intelligence to summarize and provide specific information to policyholders of exactly what is covered, how and why it's covered, what's included in their policy. And I think that this ultimately does have an impact on the adjuster, like how friendly people are when they get there and understanding what their policy actually covers. But that's another really great use case for something like generative AI. Generative AI is a really strong solution for being able to do things like summarizing. So when you've got policy documents that are confusing and are difficult for policyholders to really understand, especially if they're hoping they just never get a claim. They buy the insurance policy knowing that they need the insurance, but like don't want to dig into what happens if something bad happens. Then they're in this moment of trying to figure out exactly what's going to be covered and why. Having plain English descriptions of what's going on improves that customer experience almost immediately, especially if it's been given at the beginning of the policy so that they actually understand what they've purchased and understand the nuances of a policy. And then at the time of the claim, having that there to make sense of everything, especially when they're in the heat of the moment and have all of these emotions coming at them, being able to have something that's really clear and concise. So then when the adjuster shows up to come help them, they know what they're looking for. They know why they're looking for it. All of those types of things. Again, this is where I think we have the opportunity with artificial intelligence, not necessarily to hone in on just like one little specific part of the process, but also rethink how we interact with our policyholders as an industry, rethink how we look at our processes and how information flows across the entire value chain of insurance, so that when we get to this point at the end where there's a claim and we're finally making due on really what our product is, that we've removed as much friction throughout that entire process as possible too. So I think there's a lot of these different use cases,